You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
Hi everybody, it's Dawn Clark here, and I am so excited today. I have a very special guest for you. I have Dr. Steve G. Jones here, and he is a world-famous hypnotist and also a very good friend of mine. And, there's so much material out there. I wanted to take this opportunity for you to meet him personally. Hi, Steve. How are you today?
Hey, great, Dawn. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. Steve, I know there's so much information out there about hypnosis and brainwave entrainment and all of that, and I really believe in what you do, and you have, it's just nice to know you personally and to be able to personally recommend you and introduce you to everyone. But I thought it would be great if you could share a little bit about how you got into this or what your methodologies are and the big things that make you stand out in this particular area of expertise.
Okay, well, I'll start with how I got into it. The way I actually got into it was in high school. I was in high school in 9th grade, then I got sent to military school for 10th through 12th grade. And the reason is my grades weren't very good. And I didn't want to be in military school, so I got a book on hypnosis and tried to kind of get myself out of it, at least mentally, out of military school. So it wasn't long after getting that book that I started getting kind of good at hypnosis. This is in the the early 80s when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And the smart kids came to me wanting to study better, and the athletes came to me wanting to exercise better. They heard that I was doing hypnosis in my room at military school, and they started lining up. And so all these years later, I'm doing the same thing I was doing in military school, except now the smart kids are NASA, and the athletes are the Dodgers.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, I know, I like what you said about it helping you to escape a situation that was not feeling good to you, this military school environment. I know for me, hypnosis helped me deal with a very abusive home life situation prior to my leaving that. It's a tremendous tool.
Oh, it absolutely is. And you had asked about the method. And the method I use is pretty straightforward when I work with people, whatever they may be working on, building their self-esteem or getting out of a negative situation or what have you. I use 5 parts to a hypnotherapy session, which would be the induction, where I'm inducing the hypnotic trance, getting them relaxed, such as walking along a beach. And then the deepening, which is the intensification of the induction, where I'm having them watch the sunset as I count 10 to 1, for example. So that's just deepening the trance state. Then the script, which is the programming part. And then amnesia. You may ask, well, why would you want them to forget the good work you're doing? Well, people tend to consciously analyze the subconscious work done. So use amnesia there. Yep. And then trance termination, which is at the end of a hypnosis recording, just telling them to go to sleep. Or if it's the end of a live session, then telling them to wake up to the count of 3.
I like the idea even too of telling them to go to sleep. I think you've got them so relaxed. You've put all the new programming in. I think it's a wonderful way to go forward, or to wake up, like you say. I think that's just brilliant. And
thank you.
So, Steve, over the course of your lifetime now, you're working with very influential people. What do you think makes your work different from other work out there? I know you've got so many different hypnosis tapes that you've created for people.
Yeah, we have got a lot of MP3s that are downloadable to an iPod or whatever people may be currently listening to audio recordings on. And I've created about 9,000 recordings. And the way I got that many was I only have about 235 topics, but we've recorded them in different types of recordings: half-hour hypnosis sessions, hour-long hypnosis sessions, daytime recordings that have just positive affirmations without any hypnosis, subliminal recordings where the suggestion is masked by music, so all you hear is music, and we took about 2 years. I hired 2 college graduate sound engineers. I built a recording studio from the ground up. I used Pro Tools, which is what they use in the movies. I used a Rode microphone, which is a microphone from Australia that I really like. I got a top-of-the-line one. And I just really got busy creating the recordings that had been asked for by customers. They had, or former clients, or just people interested. Do you have a recording on this? Well, we didn't, so we created them. We took 2 years and we created the things that people wanted, like motivation, confidence, stop smoking, weight loss, things that people wanted in the ways that they wanted it, with a 30-minute recording, half-hour recording, daytime recording. We took all of that feedback into consideration, and we just got really busy for a couple of years. So I think what distinguishes my work from a lot of work out there, well, there's my educational credentials where I have a doctorate in education. But beyond that, I think it's just taking the time to do it right, because let's face it, anyone can make a recording, anyone can make a product and sell it on the internet. But if you want to do it right, if you want to build something that's going to last and going to deliver the quality, for example, we have binaural tones on the recordings, which are very high tech. If you're going to do something like that, it really takes a lot of time and a lot of money. I spent about $120,000 creating the recordings with everything, not to mention the building of the sound studio, which was in addition to that. So I really think we did it right, and I really think it shows.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
I can tell you that personally, I think your recordings are amazing. And like you say, they're so high quality, they're so well thought out, and your education, it does shine through. It makes a huge difference. So, Steve, with all of the work that you've done, would you like to share just maybe a glimmer of hope for people out there about some of the changes that you've seen that are possible? I know for my mom, for example, when she was trying to quit smoking, it was actually hypnosis that helped her break that pattern.
Oh, good. Well, I've seen a lot of positive success. I helped Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman the movie, stop smoking after 45 years. He came to visit my office when I had it in Beverly Hills, California, and he just quit smoking. So I've seen that. I also remember the story of Jen. This was when I had my office in Savannah, Georgia. She came to me with her mom. She was in her early 20s. And she was about 180 pounds or so over her ideal weight. So it's not that she was 180 pounds. She was 180 pounds over her ideal weight. So this young lady came to me, and she was on the verge of suicide. Her mom brought her in, a last-ditch effort. And I worked with her over the course of a few weeks, programming her for weight loss and exercise motivation and making proper choices in diet and so forth. And I didn't hear from her for about 2 years. Then I got a letter from her about 2 years later, a handwritten letter. This was back when people used to write handwritten letters. And she said to me, not only had she lost the amount of weight she no longer wanted or needed, but she also had married the man of her dreams, her man of her dreams was I believe it was a 6'1" architect. That was what she always had in mind as the man of her dreams. And I believe they had a child on the way. And just not only had she not taken her own life, but she had thrived. So beyond surviving, she had thrived. And I was really glad to hear that. It was a testament not only to the power of hypnosis, and I don't look at it as a testimony for me, really. I look at it as a power, the power of the human mind, the power of resilience, and the power that we all have to change.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's not about us. It's about these amazing tools and the power that we have to grow and heal and change. I know we're almost out of time. I wanted to keep this really short. I just wanted to provide some hope and some inspiration for people out there. This is an amazing adjunct. Could you please share just a little bit about how hypnosis works from the scientific perspective?
Sure. Hypnosis is just a relaxed state of mind, like when you're driving a car or watching TV or reading a book, or when you just wake up or just go to sleep. You're in that not really awake, not really out of it state. So anytime you do something that you can do by rote, such as vacuuming or showering or driving a car to a place that you drive to a lot, or just walking or daydreaming or spacing out, any of those times, your brain goes down to what we call alpha. Now, in alpha, you can think you're wide awake, but you're actually in a slowed down state. And it turns out that anytime you're in that state or lower, the lower states would be theta or delta, you are much more suggestible than when you're in beta, which is full awakening consciousness, where we are right now. So you go in and out of alpha all day long. The only difference between those times you go into it in your daily life and into it in a hypnosis session, number one, the hypnotist is causing you to go into that relaxed state by using relaxing words. And number two, while you're in that state, positive suggestions are being put in your mind. So it's just like hypnosis is just like any normal time you would go into hypnosis throughout your day, when you're driving a car, reading a book, watching TV, just waking up, just going to sleep, except for the fact that it's controlled with words and you're getting positive value from it with the suggestions.
Exactly. It becomes a very constructive way of being. I know that there was some amazing research done that showed that children who went to school, for example, in a high beta brainwave frequency or just even in an agitated state, this beta predominated brainwave, they had a much more difficult time learning new information. So it's tremendous to be able to put yourself into that state with constructive purpose. Of all the amazing hypnotherapy tapes that you've put out there, these MP3s, do you have a favorite?
I think my favorite would be Motivation, because it's the one that I've used the most, and the words from it just really stick in my mind. You know, my platinum level Motivation hypnosis recordings, I have a full half hour of just the middle part, just the programming part where you're getting these good positive messages, and I still hear those throughout my day when I'm thinking of something or I don't feel up to something. I think of the positive messages that I've provided in that recording that I've listened to myself that are now part of my thinking, you know, just go for it, get up and do it, that kind of thing. So I'd say that's the one that's really made a big difference in my life, because when you're motivated, you can conquer anything that you have to do.
Absolutely. So, Steve, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share all of this with everyone. I am so grateful, and thank you for all of the amazing work that you've done and the betterment that you've brought to the planet. It's been a real joy for me to introduce you to everyone.
It's my pleasure, and thanks for making this available.
Have a great day, Steve.
You too. Thank you.
And everybody out there, I am wishing you a great day, and I know Steve is too, so we're sending you love and light.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.